Love's return announced on the last day for players to declare themselves eligible for the NBA draft. It's a huge boost for the Tar Heels after their improbable run to the NCAA championship game. Duke freshman A.J. Griffin, meanwhile, is headed to the NBA. He became the 5th Blue Devil player in a week to declare early for the draft. The school announced his decision yesterday, the last day for players to declare themselves eligible. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I'm running for sheriff. I've told you how our sheriff has threatened 4 good citizens with his power to force them to grant him favors. These are the powers you gave him. One victim said,
"Yes, I was scared. He did not ask for the favor. He shouted his demand."
The sheriff and his good old boys club need to go. But it's up to you to make the change. Don't expect anything to change if you don't vote for a change. Let me tell you what I'll give you if you vote for me. Integrity will finally be restored in the good old boys network, and two-tiered justice will be gone. You will get 40-plus years of tested management experience, and I will have with me the best chief deputy Moore County has ever seen. I will install our own crime lab, which will speed up trials by 2/3 and will save us millions in incarceration costs and increase empty cell inventory. That inventory will be leased out, saving the taxpayer millions of dollars. Our sheriff said 3.5 years ago that he would transform the old jail into a youth detention center. That's a good idea, but he failed to get it done because he lacks the skills to do it. I'm an entrepreneur, and I know how to get things done in a hurry. You can view my entire plan at adamsforsheriff.com. I'm Steve Adams, and I'm running for sheriff of Moore County, and I'm asking for your vote. And together we will clean up the sheriff's department. Paid for by Adams for Sheriff.
You know, Mother's Day is May 8th, and last year I unfortunately put you in charge of getting Mom some flowers and a gift.
And what did I do that was so bad?
Getting Mom flowers and a gift from a Megalomart shows you don't know jack about getting something appropriate for Mom.
So, what do you want me to do?
If you want the best, you have to work with the best. Go to Jack Haddon Floral on Main Street in Aberdeen and order Mom's flowers. And while you're there, go next door to pick out a nice appropriate gift at Lily Rose Home and Gifts.
But...
No buts about it. If Mom's Mother's Day flowers don't come from Jack Haddon Floral, your funeral flowers will.
Well, since you put it that way, I'm going to Jack Haddon Floral and Lily Rose Home and Gifts to get a flower arrangement and a gift for Mom for Mother's Day. They also offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. Call them at 910-944-1071 or come by and place your order. That's Jack Haddon Floral and Lily Rose Home and Gifts on Main Street in Aberdeen.
From the WEEB Community Calendar.
Hello, my name is William Lozer, president of the Moore County Shrine Club, and during the past year of 2021, it's been a horrible year raising funds for the Shriners Hospitals. Thanks to the courtesy of radio stations WEEB 990 AM and FM stations 104.1 and 97.3, helping the Moore County Shrine Club with our fundraising efforts. We will kick off a new season to raise money beginning on Friday, April the 1st, and each Friday thereafter cooking our Shriner hot dogs from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The hot dogs will cost $3 each, and customers will be able to drive by our fish fry trailer located on Highway 15501 at Roman Eagle Masonic Lodge in Aberdeen near Bernie's Hardware. The Shriners ask for community support with our Shriner hot dog program. Drive to the Roman Eagle Lodge and signs will be posted directing customers to serving window for takeaway orders only. Please remember the date of Friday, April the 1st, and every Friday thereafter for your special Shriner hot dogs. Thank you, Moore County.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. I wonder how many of you are familiar with Westminster College in Utah. It was founded in 1875 as the Salt Lake Collegiate Institute. Boy, have times changed. I wonder what the founders would think today. Although the school severed ties with the Presbyterian Church in 1974, they've adopted a crest that says, "For Christ and Liberty." That's their motto. This year, the school is going to offer a new class called Film 3000 Porn. In the class, students will watch pornographic films together. Among other things, the course description says porn is an art form that requires serious contemplation. Art form? Where are they getting the people that are in charge of these colleges? How have you got the nerves to tell parents, yes, you need to send your child to us? Don't you worry about their character. After all, our motto is for Christ and for liberty. As a matter of fact, since you and Grandma and the rest of the family showed up for the campus tour, why don't you swing by and sit in on one of the classes? It's an important art class being taught by some guy named Chester. He's on parole. We found him laying in the gutter, drinking out of a paper bag. And parents, while you're here, I know this sounds like a strange class to you, but I want you to know that normally we would not even have this class. But we've got to do something about all these kids showing up from Moore County who can't read or write or do math to standard. I hope you have a good day. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Temperatures for today will warm above normal for this time of the year. It's going to feel like summer. We're going to head into the mid to upper 80s, and some areas could be dealing with the warmest highs of the year so far. By tonight, we're down into the upper 50s and lower 60s with highs in the upper 70s and upper 80s tomorrow. By the afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms will move through with a cold front. Some of those storms could be strong to severe in the evening hours. A meteorologist, Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Is that the phone?
Telephone!
Yeah, that was the phone.
You guys sound like you're ready for a show.
The phone rang?
You're not supposed to have your phone on. It's always ringing.
Today is National Telephone Day.
And I'm Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the telephone.
See, that's the problem. You're always on that stupid phone.
You're always on the phone.
Hey, happy National Telephone Day.
Call me, call me, call me.
Call me. Bye.
Showtime.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Yeah. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Yeah. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Yeah. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, bring me down. Can't none
Good morning.
bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me
Talk
down.
97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. Time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Hey, good morning, Moore County. Beautiful morning out there. You got to get outside. Hurry up before it gets a little warm in the afternoon. Walking, playing golf, taking a swim. Well, maybe the water's too cold for a swim. But, get the kids out, get the dogs out. Well, I don't know. Do people walk cats? I know somebody who walks a cat. But outside's better than inside. Leave that filthy mask at home. And, if you happen to come across that stray piece of crap they throw in your garage or at your garage on Sunday morning, just just look up, enjoy the sun, get that sun on your face, and continue to march.
Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's up and running at our website at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. If you just want to listen to our audio stream, that's available to you too on our 24-hour-a-day stream. That's located on the same page in the upper right-hand corner where it says on the air, listen live. Click that icon and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. It's going to be nice today. It's been warm though, mostly sunny with a high of 87. Tonight, clear and 63. Tomorrow, especially in the afternoon, we'll have partly cloudy skies and isolated showers and thunderstorms may pop up. High of 86. Those showers will be in the early evening tomorrow night, give way to partly cloudy skies and a low of 54. Wednesday, back to all sunshine, 73. Thursday, 73. And then Friday, 76. Right now, around the Sand Hills, winds are calm. Pressure is 3049. Solar radiation up to 24 watts per square meter. Dew point 57. Humidity 88. It is sunny and 60 right now here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 7:32, 32 past the hour on this Monday morning. Anything from your weekend, Colonel?
No, it's a nice weekend. Got a lot of stuff done outside, because like being outside.
Okay. Well, let's see what the Twitter world has left for us this morning. Okay, from one tweet, France votes for his own demise. Macron got reelected.
Oh, yeah.
With the conservative by a 58, 40-something difference. So they get what they voted for.
Well, I guess the upshot though is that you had a pretty strong showing by the conservative side, and who is it? Le Pen has reorganized things there and is a much more viable force than they used to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to take time. Just like here. Just like trying to reverse, 20, 30 years of stupidity by our former school boards, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
Yeah, like November. November. Let's see. We have one Twitter comment. Elon Musk should buy Disney after he's done with Twitter.
Oh, wow. What's Disney valued?
A lot.
Yeah, I have $43 billion for Twitter. I appreciate what Elon Musk is doing. What I think he wants to do, or what I think I want him to do. But I don't know. Is Twitter even a money-making operation? I mean, I hate to see somebody throw money at a loser. Is Twitter a moneymaker? I don't know. I don't think it is.
Well, it must be because they throw money at influencers. If you have enough followers,
well,
they throw money at you.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of money gets tossed around, and doesn't make any money. Look at Netflix. I mean, come on. I don't know. I hope he buys it, and I hope he's successful with it and drops all the garbage that's going on behind the scenes there. Whether or not he should buy Disney, man, wow. Yeah, if he could buy it and turn it around, that would be
great.
great.
Get more mileage out of buying Twitter, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely the influence there is much greater.
Although Disney owns ABC.
Yeah, they do.
So he can have an influence there.
Yeah.
And they own ESPN. And so forth and so on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I suspect Disney's would go for a lot more than $40-some billion. Of course, at the
That's
rate
a
they're
terrible amount of money.
at the rate they're going, they might not be worth $43 million. Billion, B.
From another Twitter tweet, the world needs less of George Soros and more of Elon Musk. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. I guess Elon Musk, if you really dig into stuff, you'll find things you don't agree with him about. But he's a libertarian, so you don't want to call him a Democrat, you don't want to call him a Republican kind of thing. So, which do you want? He's just there. Hey, Twitter. I want to buy Twitter. I think, it sounds like he wants to reduce all that restrictive stuff and canceling people, cancel culture thing at Twitter, and just let you say your piece. And he wants to do away with the bots and all the phoniness behind these influencers, like you're saying. These influencers get a lot of money, but when you get into it, you find out that these bots, these robot, whatever the term is, a lot of their followers are just
bots.
Yeah, bots. They're made up. They're not really people. So
Right.
he wants to do away with all of the bot influence, apparently. And you're going to find a lot of people that influence don't really influence.
No.
So and they're going to that money that gets tossed at them, it's going to go away. That's why some of these people are really fighting tooth and nail about this.
Another tweet. This is from Leo Terrell. This is the Texas National Guard who drowned trying to rescue migrants at the southern border. Any comment, Joe Biden or Al Sharpton or BLM? There was a black National Guard. What do they call them? Soldier.
Yeah, they're guardsmen, a guardsman, soldier.
Yeah, that drowned trying to rescue some immigrants.
It was okay. So they've identified the guardsman. He was a black man.
Yeah, they have a big picture of him.
Okay, I didn't see that, so I missed that this morning or yesterday, I guess. So and that's the question: where's Jackson and all these other people coming
Al
out?
Sharpton.
I don't even want his name on my tongue. Where are all those people? Where's BLM out there to say, hey, here we had an individual that was willing to dive in the river to try to save someone who's illegally coming to this country, and of course nothing. Yeah, there you go.
You got to know what you're doing when you approach a drowning person, because they will grab hold of you like a flotation device. And end up drowning you.
Well,
if you don't know what you're doing.
Is that what happened? I thought they actually got I thought they got the immigrant. I thought they got him out or her out, and then he continued down the river. I didn't get all the details on it, to be honest.
Monica Crowley said, did you tweet from your oceanfront property in Hawaii or Martha's Vineyard? This is directed at Barack Obama, who said, when it comes to climate change, time really is running out. Earth Day is a reminder that we pledge to do our part, then follow through on these commitments. We can help preserve and protect our planet for future generations. Blah, 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 blah.
Right, and that's the question. Yeah, which oceanfront property did you tweet from?
Yeah.
And number one. Number two, he's lying. He's incorrect. That's not what the science is telling us. And number three. Number three just flew out of my head. That guy just makes my head spin when he starts yakking.
Yeah, went into Congress, poor boy. Came out multi-millionaire. It's funny how that works. Tulsi Gabbard said, out of compassion, the National Guardsman historically dove into the Rio Grande River to save two illegal immigrants on the verge of drowning. They lived, he didn't. Those who are trying to protect our borders are the real humanitarians, not those who advocate for open borders.
Yeah, exactly. She's a Democrat. She was a Democrat congressman from Hawaii.
She still has that side of it.
She's got some some tendencies, though. And she's absolutely right. Guardsmen, hey, the National Guard has, for many years through Korea, has made up the bulk of our national defense. When you talk about the Minutemen, the militia, et cetera, World War I, World War II, these are all, citizen soldiers that have done what needed to be done. And then Korea, then you get into your professional forces. But even now, that has changed again, and National Guardsmen get called up routinely for active duty, and they're on the border. They're doing all kinds of things. I mean, they are the bulwark of our defense. And I know the screaming heads, there's some people just screaming at the walls right now because I said that. But National Guardsmen have done us right for close to over 300 years.
Donald Trump spoke at a rally, his rally, and talking about the elections. And let me see if I can get this. There we go. Here's what he had to say at that rally.
Think of what they're doing. 48-day elections. We want one-day elections. We want paper ballots and no mail-in fake ballots.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I don't have so much of a problem with some of the early voting stuff, but it should be standard. And this mail-in ballot stuff, it's just absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. All right, late night Unique boys last night or over the weekend. See if they had anything worth saying or any comment might be humorous.
This is not headline news.
No, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. Late night jokes. Here we go.
The Tony Awards had to put out strict no violence policy at the Tony Awards. As they say, any sudden movements, it better be jazz hands.
Because you can always tell a fight's going to break out at the Tonys when people start snapping.
Hey, the other thing people are celebrating is they lifted the mask mandate in airplanes, which I applaud. On airplanes, they were uncomfortable, they were pointless, and they got stuck in Mike Tyson's fist sometimes. I guess everyone has seen this video of Mike Tyson just wailing on a guy. And the sad part, you know who the guy was? Chris Rock. So sad that, again,
I read that the CEO of Old Navy is stepping down. Now Old Navy is going to try on a dozen new CEOs before finding one that fits and leaving the rest on the floor. It's very interesting.
Yeah, the Mike Tyson guy that he got.
Well, you can say he survived a round with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, well, yeah, but when you come to find out, early on the reports were because of that haircut this clown had. He looks like a military guy. When the first one I read, looks like a Marine recruit and all this kind of crap. No, he's a 36-year-old felon with multiple charges along the way, et cetera. He's a bum. And, now when you take a really good close-up, that is not a military haircut. Yeah. Sorry. It's just terrible. Well, military haircuts are terrible, but his is even worse.
Yeah.
So, he's just a bum. And he gets on there and starts harassing Mike Tyson and then sits there with this long look on his face after he gets punched out. So, too bad.
Let's see here. A trainer and a horse in New Zealand have been banned from racing after meth was found in both of their systems.
The horse and the trainer?
And the trainer. Here's the call from their last race.
Welcome to the final race at Street Drug Downs. And they're off. And Nose Candy is fast out of the gate and takes the lead, followed by PCP, Happy Dust, and Meth Head. Mary Jane is just now slowly exiting the gate and taking her sweet time. And around the first turn, Magic Mushroom has stopped and thinks a giant carrot is following him. Here we are in the second turn, and Ecstasy is nose to nose with the other horses and feeling kinda good. LSD is confused and thinks he's swimming in a rainbow. And down the stretch they come. It's Meth Head, it's Nose Candy, and Meth Head wins it by a deviation
Yeah, doping in horse racing has been going on for, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how long it's been going on. I guess since people been racing horses, trying to figure out ways to beat the system.
Well, like me, you probably haven't ridden a roller coaster in quite a while, but a lot of people find them thrilling and scary. Unfortunately, one guest at Tampa Bay's Busch Gardens was riding the Iron Gwazi and literally got the, you know what, scared out of him. The park already has a new ad for this.
Ride the new ride at Busch Gardens. It's Pants Blaster. Sometimes you just have to go. This summer, give it a push. At Busch Gardens.
I don't know the last time I went on one, but phew, they've got something now. It's just, man. There's one, where was it? It's up in Williamsburg. They got one, I guess you stand up on this thing and, you know, oh my God. The kids got me on that thing. It's been quite a while, but I was like, oh my.
They have one where you start in a stand-up position and then it rolls forward like you're flying.
Right, yeah. Well, that's...
And you're off the side of the rail, not on top of the rail.
Yeah, okay. Well, good.
That might even feel like a Superman adventure moment.
Yeah, make sure you
get through.
You'll
say, "Wow, that's pretty cool." Flying sure is fun these days, with a drunk guy heckling Mike Tyson until Iron Mike used the guy's head as a punching bag, to the sudden no mask rule. Predictions say that this will be the very busy travel season. Luckily, there's a new airline where anything goes.
We're back. No Mask Airways. We're all gonna die someday. No Mask Airways, where consideration for others is like lost luggage. It's gone, baby. At NMA, you do you. Smoke a cigar, clip your toenails, reheat leftover Indian food in one of our onboard microwave ovens. Why? The Constitution. Guns? Sure. Bombs? Why not? Blast your jams full volume. Join the Mile High Club. In the middle seat. Hell, pull a Will Smith on a flight attendant. At No Mask Airways, you're flying solo. We're like the DMV in the sky. Only worse. And if you crash and burn because you knocked the pilots unconscious with your nunchucks, so be it. Maybe those other 200 people on board should have brought their own nunchucks. No Mask Airways, we're all gonna die someday. No Mask Airways, where personal freedoms take flight.
All right. Well, you've heard the headline news, but give us 45 seconds and we'll give you the not headline news.
This is not headline news. There was a Golden Girls fan convention in Chicago over the weekend. 13 Blanches were arrested for lewd behavior. Scientists say the world could run out of food in 27 years. On the bright side, it would be so much easier to find a parking spot at Trader Joe's. Tomorrow is the anniversary of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. It'll be celebrated by Russian troops creating another one. The Stagecoach Country Music Festival takes place this weekend. Headliners include Carrie Underwood, Luke Combs, and COVID-19. And Barbara Streisand turned 80 yesterday. Her cheekbones turned 7. This is not headline news.
That's funny. I tell you, the other thing, the food processing plant things came up over the weekend, too.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and boy, that... we kind of wonder about some of that stuff. Two airplanes flew in. One flew into some processing plant and it ended up burning down. And then there was another one that hit a food processing plant somewhere and it just didn't catch fire or whatever. But yeah, why all these things are catching fire here in the last year or so.
I think the planes were trying to come in and add to their menu.
I don't know.
And got out of hand there.
Need to start watching everything. But, you know, this is all the garbage that's going on with, stuff coming across the southern border, and now you got planes flying around. Haven't heard a word about who the pilots were or whether they were licensed or whether they were, citizens or what. So, I don't know. Been looking, but I haven't seen it yet.
Remember when your mom kept saying if you swallow gum, it would stay in your stomach forever? Well,
My mother never said that.
Autopsy technician Gerald Ledford reveals if he does or doesn't find old gum inside bodies.
Do I find the gum that you swallowed inside your stomach? I've never seen any. It doesn't stay in your stomach. I think it probably goes on through. 'Cause when I collect your stomach contents, sometimes there's a piece of gum in there, but I think it was just swallowed. It's not old gum.
And can you be cremated with your dentures? I know you have always pondered this, but let's find out.
Can you be cremated with your dentures? Yes. You can be cremated with your dentures. Or they can take them out, give them to the family, throw them away. But yeah, you can be cremated with your dentures.
Yeah, I think the only thing they ask about are whether you've had replacement joints and, you know, some of those kind of things, just so they know whether or not there's going to be
metal
stuff left over. You know, dentures, gold fillings, you know,
plastic knees,
metal joints.
Someone posted many of Johnny Depp's funniest moments when he was being questioned by the defense last week. Here they are, most dealing with drinking and drugs.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint?
Yeah. Sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour any time?
Well, like they say, it's always noon somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
And what is a mega pint? I'd have to agree with them. What's a mega pint? A pint is a pint. What weighs more, a pound of feathers?
Mega pint, I guess, be a half gallon, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of lead?
They're the same.
It's the same. It's a pint's a pint. I don't get it. Two of the least interesting people in the world, Amber Heard and what's his name? Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. It's a fugazi. Let's see. Oh, here's something. You have a home up there in the mountains, and here's something you might find under your home one day.
Oh, no.
What might this be?
Sounds like a bear.
You think it's a bear?
Well, it's some large animal. I don't know.
A California family was shocked when they found 5 bears.
Oh, 5 bears. Okay.
Hibernating under their house. Apparently, they were complexed by rumbling, snoring-like noises that they heard all winter long.
Oh, it took them till spring to find out what it was?
I would make sure the crawl space door was open so they could get out.
Good Lord.
And
yeah, what kind of person doesn't go figure out the source of the noise? And under their house, I'm trying to figure out what under their house might look like where 5 bears would end up in there. Yeah, the crawl space door, I guess.
Yeah.
Must have been. I don't know. I got a door on mine.
They left that open. They went under there and went, it's kind of warm in here. And they'll ball up and go to sleep.
Lord.
Wonder how long they sleep at a time when they're not hibernating.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been doing the bear thing here. hibernation. Whether or not they're actually truly hibernating or just kind of lightly sleeping, this and that and the other thing. I don't know. California, it's California. What can you say? Was there meth involved is probably the question.
Chris Rock's mom spoke about the Oscar slap on a TV station in South Carolina on Friday. Here's a clip of that interview.
He is doing well. Like he said, he's still processing it because that's not something you expect. But when Will slapped Chris, he slapped all of us. But he really slapped me. Because when you hurt my child, you hurt me. What in the world were you thinking? So many things could have happened from that. Chris could have stepped back and fallen. You really could have gotten taken out in handcuffs.
Yeah, I think it's been established that was a off the cuff moment. It wasn't staged and all that. And Chris Rock, all the kudos to him, man, because he stood there like a trooper and didn't lose his cool and finished up and carried on with the show.
I wouldn't start a physical thing with him, but I sure would have put it back on him. So did that make you feel like a big man? Well, I'd embarrass him bad.
Yeah, I think he did to a certain extent. He just said it was a joke or whatever. But hey.
Wow, you're a tough guy. Oh, I'm impressed.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to escalate the thing either to have him come back and take a second swing. I don't know. That was just, but yeah, Chris Rock, I think, handled it appropriately. He didn't lose his cool, got back on track and finished the show.
Some things you need to know today so you don't sound stupid. Mortgage rates have hit a 12-year high. Thanks, Joe. Let's go, Brandon. A new study says that regular brisk walks could add up to 16 years to your life.
Yeah.
You just have the knees that could do it with you.
Well, yeah, that's the issue, whether or not you can, in fact, do the brisk walks. John Adams used to walk 5 miles a day up to, almost to the very end.
Well, I walk every day going to the dog park, but, I don't know how brisk it is.
Well, at this point, brisk is... the question. So,
well, there's a rumor out there, I don't know if it's true or not, that Putin is fighting terminal cancer, and that's why he's trying to take over Ukraine as part of his legacy.
Yeah, that's popped up before, that he's got a terminal illness. I don't know. I have no clue. Like I said, we should be as far away from all that crap as possible.
Well, here's something that should be music to your ears. Stephen Colbert, born Colbert, but changed his name to Colbert to be more stuck up. Well, guess what? He's tested positive for COVID-19. And new episodes won't return until May 2nd. Oh, gee, I'm heartbroken. How will I ever recover that Colbert on at night? And the owners of the restaurant, the Russian Lady in Connecticut, well, they've changed their name to the establishment to the Ukrainian Lady.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
All right, 8 o'clock. Here comes your news. We'll be back.
Temperatures for today will warm above normal for this time of the year. It's going to feel like summer. We're going to head into the mid to upper 80s, and some areas could be dealing with the warmest highs of the year so far. By tonight, we're down into the upper 50s and lower 60s with highs in the upper 70s and upper 80s tomorrow. By the afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms will move through with a cold front. Some of those storms could be strong to severe in the evening hours. A meteorologist, Peter Sherwood, in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. 2 high-ranking U.S. officials fresh off a visit to Kiev predicting a Ukrainian victory in the war with Russia.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Russia is failing in its war in Ukraine after he and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with President Zelensky for 3 hours in the Ukrainian capital.
A sovereign, independent Ukraine will be around a lot longer than Vladimir Putin's on the scene.
The U.S. announced a new surge of military and diplomatic aid. Austin told reporters Zelensky is committed to winning the fight.
The first step in winning is believing that you can win. And so they believe that we can win. We believe that we can win. They can win if they have the right equipment, the right support.
Correspondent Jennifer King says the U.S. proving a $165 million ammunition sale to Ukraine, along with more than $300 million in foreign military financing. Russia focusing its latest attacks on western Ukraine, 5 train stations among infrastructure targets that have been hit. Well, despite her loss to incumbent French President Macron, his challenger from the right, insisting that she is not giving up the good fight.
Marine Le Pen has recorded a record high 12 million votes, so she is not going away. She's focusing on the parliamentary elections, and she's hoping that she can galvanize supporters here, but also across France, from across the mainstream. And President Macron's challenge now will be to try to get a majority there that will allow him to see through this new era.
That's BBC's Anna Holligan. A New York City house fire claiming 2 lives, including the life of a 31-year-old firefighter. Other firefighters injured while battling yesterday afternoon's blaze in Brooklyn. Part of the burning structure collapsed. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures pointing to a lower open. The Dow futures down 211 points. NASDAQ futures 114 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. Order the 3-week quick start now. Discount it to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. Call 800-500-8384. ReliefFactor.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign. And we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Japanese automaker Nissan is retiring a long-time nameplate.
Datsun began in Japan in 1914 as Dat-Go, the Dat car. The word Dat means lightning fast. In the 1930s, it was taken over by Nissan, remodeled and renamed Datsun. Nissan's founder had a vision of affordable, reliable cars mass-produced, and after the Second World War, Datsun's popularity exploded. It went on to sell millions of vehicles both in Japan and around the world, boosting the reputation of Japanese car makers. The Datsun brand was phased out in the 1980s, then revived a decade ago with lower-priced models in high-growth markets, such as Indonesia and India. Now those sales have slumped, and it really does seem to be the end of the road for Datsun.
The BBC's Simon Ponsford. New York Times reporting Twitter's board and Tesla's Elon Musk are negotiating over his bid to buy the social media platform. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Well, gas prices might be falling, although you might not have noticed.
The price at the pump trickled down a bit again.
Gasoline prices are down 3 cents in the past 2 weeks, and the average for regular grade is $4.24. This makes a total drop of 19 cents over the past 6 weeks.
But fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg says those small dips in the price could be done for now.
For one thing, retailers lost a big chunk of their business margin in this period, and also consumers seem to be showing some price resistance.
While the lowest average in the country was $3.70 in Tulsa, the highest was San Francisco, $5.71 a gallon. I'm Shelley Adler.
One of the wildfires burning across more than a dozen Nebraska counties has proven deadly. A 66-year-old man, retired fire chief, has been killed. More than a dozen firefighters injured battling those flames. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time. with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Rising inflation and gas prices have demonstrated one thing: Joe Biden's America has failed us. Roy Cooper's mask mandates and the indoctrination of K through 12 students are failing North Carolina's future. My name is Ben Moss, and I'm the conservative Republican running for re-election to the State House of Representatives. Since elected, I have stood up against the Joe Biden and Roy Cooper agenda and worked in opposition to their mask and vaccine mandates. I've also fought hard against critical race theory indoctrination in schools, and I've stopped all efforts by the left to defund the police. I will continue to protect the lives of the unborn and defend our Second Amendment rights. My name is Ben Moss, and I need your vote on May 17th in the Republican primary election. Learn more at www.benmossnc.com. Paid for by Ben Moss NC House.
When I opened my business, I knew I needed insurance. How much, what kind, where to buy? No idea. A friend told me to call FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. My FCIG rep told me what I needed, and she showed me how to save on my home and car insurance, too. I was really surprised to find out that they represent over 3 dozen companies. Wow.
Time to call FCIG, First Casualty Insurance Group, Southern Pines. 910-692-8303. 910-692-8303.
Aaron Cooper here with Cooper Ford. To say the past year and a half has been tough is an understatement. And it's during these times that we truly value the community in which we all live in. At Cooper Ford, we continue to do all we can to pour support back into the community because taking care of each other is what it's all about. And that's why we won't have any market adjustment stickers or any of our new Fords like so many other dealers. We believe in fair and honest pricing and have from day one. So please come see us here in beautiful Carthage or visit us on the web at cooperford.net.
Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
This is Chuck from Sunbelt Service Pros. Are you just not feeling it anymore with your AC service provider? Are you calling those guys because that's what you've always done, or because there's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone number on it? How about this? Take a chance and you'll be thrilled to find that you're getting real value for your heating and cooling dollars. When you call Sunbelt Service Pros, you are dealing with a professional and reliable service provider. Our technicians are highly trained and certified and can quickly address any issues. Our customers find our technicians and office staff courteous, friendly, and professional throughout the whole process. We're doing something right here. You need to check us out, find out what you've been missing, and call us today. Sunbelt Service Pros at 910-944-2044 or go online to sunbeltservicepros.com.
The best in-store service, unbeatable prices, locally owned, and here to stay. We are a hometown Sears store. Hi, this is Catherine Phelps. Joe and I are the new owners of your local Sears hometown store, where creating relationships and helping our customers make an informed buying decision is our business. We are an independently owned appliance store, not to be confused with the corporate Sears store. Shop your locally owned Sears hometown store in the Town and Country Shopping Center, Aberdeen.
This is Dr. Terry Ann Sams from Sandhills Weekend Dental. Here we grow again. I am excited to introduce Miss Nancy, our newest team member.
Hello, my name is Nancy. I will be assisting Dr. Sams in your care. I look forward to seeing you.
Call Sandhills Weekend Dental today at 910-687-4423. Eat, kiss, and smile better.
NCI News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. The man at the center of the NC09 election fraud investigation is tied. WSOC's Genevieve Curtis says McCrae Dowless was due to be tried in the case.
Dowless was battling cancer. Back in 2019, Dowless was indicted on several charges in connection to the election fraud investigation in Bladen County, including felony obstruction of justice, perjury, and possession of absentee ballots.
The U.S. Secretaries of State and Defense stopped in Ukraine and dropped millions of dollars in aid to assist helping the country fight off Russian troops invading the country. CBS News correspondent Nancy Cordes reports.
During the trip, the leaders announced that the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv is going to reopen in the coming weeks and that U.S. diplomats are actually going to start making day trips into the country next week, starting in Lviv.
Rocky Mount police found a 14-month-old girl and 3-month-old boy unresponsive in a parked car over the weekend. Today, the mother of those children and her boyfriend will go before a judge. Sharon Harris lives across the street from the scene and tells ABC 11.
You're be aware of what's going on now, because you don't know what people going through. You got to question people. You got to ask people things. Right now, this hurting me. This is really hurting me, because these were babies.
Agents with North Carolina's Alcohol Law Enforcement Unit charged more than 250 people in a series of coordinated actions in 20 cities over the weekend. Officials say the charges include alcohol, drugs, firearms, driving, and gambling offenses. A mosquito can be prevented from biting through clothing. The research from North Carolina State University researcher Michael Rowe.
So when they bite through the cloth, there's things that they feel. Some things they feel and it's fine, other things they don't like it. Those combination of parameters that determines whether they can bite through a textile.
You're listening to NCN News.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power communities provide electricity to families and businesses from a locally owned and operated system. Public power systems are not-for-profit and provide electricity at affordable rates with unbeaten reliability. Your local public power provider invests in your community, providing local jobs and supporting your local economy. Electricities of North Carolina is the energy behind public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Hi, Darcy the cow here for Black Cow, the mature manure. Planting a sustainable vegetable garden helps to protect the environment, and there's nothing like knowing where your vegetables came from. Black Cow is a natural fertilizer with 10 times more nutrients than garden soil. Everything grows better with Black Cow, you know. That's blackcow.com.
Black Cow, the mature manure, Black Cow.
It may not end up as a hostile takeover after all. CBS News correspondent Christopher Cruz says Twitter's board and Tesla CEO Elon Musk are now negotiating a Musk offer to buy the company.
The world's richest man said last week that he'd lined up more than $46 billion in financing to acquire the company. Because the board has a fiduciary duty to shareholders, that news forced it to at least talk to Musk about his plan to buy Twitter and take it private. The two sides are reportedly discussing details. The negotiations continued into the early morning hours.
With summer-like weather this weekend and other weekends, Crystal Lloyd, park superintendent at Falls Lake State Recreational Area, tells CBS 17 she expects the trails, campsites, and lakes to be busy.
So last year at Falls Lake, we were the third most visited state park for 2021.
The McDowell County Sheriff's Office is searching for a missing 8-year-old last seen near a wooded area on Sunday. According to deputies, Tobias Toby Lucky was last seen on Sydney Falls Road in the Crook Creek area about 7 p.m. Case of a high school football assistant coach from Bremerton, Washington, essentially fired after praying on the 50-yard line after games will be argued in the U.S. Supreme Court today. More from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Retired Marine Joseph Kennedy took a knee after helping coach his first game in 2008. Later, he was joined by his players. Some felt compelled to join. In 2015, the school district told him to stop. He refused, saying he was engaged in constitutionally protected speech. He wasn't rehired. Rachel Laser with Americans United for Separation of Church and State.
When you're acting as an agent of the state, you can't impose your religious views or practices on school children.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
Mike Traley, NCN News.
Unseasonable temperatures will be on tap today. We're heading into the mid to upper 80s. A lot of sunshine will be in place as well. Tonight, we'll stay warm with temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow afternoon, highs will reach the upper 70s and the upper 80s. But a cold front's going to move through. Ahead of it, we're going to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms develop into the afternoon and evening hours with gradual clearing by Tuesday night. But some storms could be strong to severe. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, sunny is 62 degrees, humidity 85%, dew point 57, solar radiation up to 33 watts per square meter, pressures 30-50, and winds west-northwest at 2. It is 8:14. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Monday morning. On April 20th, the Sheriff's Office arrested Luis Hernandez Oliver, 23 of East Hemp Street in Robbins, after an undercover investigation related to the sexual exploitation of a minor utilizing social media applications. The investigation was the result of information submitted to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Oliver was charged with 12 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor and 2 counts of third-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Oliver was confined to the Moore County Detention Center under a $750,000 secured bond. And the town of Southern Pines seeks your input on the redevelopment of a town-owned site at Morganton Road and South Henry Street. The June 2021, the community participated in engagement session to help define the guiding public interest for the site. This next round of engagement will focus on determining how well conceptual plans developed by DFI and neighboring concepts meet these interests. DFI will present options and lead discussions in the small groups. Community members are encouraged to attend one of the following meetings: Saturday, April 30th at 9:30 a.m. or Thursday, May 5th at 6 p.m. Location will be Douglas Community Center at 1185 West Pennsylvania Avenue in Southern Pines. That's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sand Hill Sentinel. And, of course, you can go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:16. Sports is next right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
The Morning Sports Report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start with the NBA playoffs and the Pelicans knotting their series with the top-seeded Phoenix Suns at 2 games apiece following a 118-103 win last night from New Orleans. The Nuggets 126-121 final over the Warriors on Sunday denied Golden State a first-round sweep of Denver. Meanwhile, Milwaukee is moved within 1 win of advancing to the second round after Sunday's 119-95 blowout of the Bulls in Chicago. And the East top seed Miami is up 3-1 following a 110-86 pounding of the Hawks in Atlanta. The Carolina Hurricanes hitting a stride at just the right time after an up-and-down month of win some, lose some. Carolina has strung together 4 straight wins, including Saturday's 3-2 comeback in overtime at New Jersey and yesterday's 5-2 win over the Islanders. Carolina up 2-1 going into the third, where they scored 3 unanswered, the last 2 into the empty net. Head coach Rod Brindamore.
Wasn't pretty for 2 periods, but I thought it was a real good third period.
Carolina's got 2 games left on the regular season. They will go head-to-head with the Rangers tomorrow in Madison Square Garden. They're up 4 points on the Rangers, and Carolina's 52 wins and 112 points right now ties the franchise records set in the 2005-2006 season when they won the Stanley Cup. Ross Chastain took the lead near the checkered flag at Talladega on Sunday to steal his second career NASCAR Cup victory. He stayed in the line over the final few first laps, and leader Eric Jones and reigning Cup champion Kyle Larson fought for the win. Larson made his attempt on the final lap, and Jones moved for the defensive block, but Chastain just pointed his Chevy straight, slipped past the leaders, and won for the second time in 5 starts.
Does not seem real at all. Like, I keep waiting to wake up from this dream and realize it's all not what I think I'm living.
Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Larson, Martin Truex Jr., they round out the top 5. This is NCN Sports.
What happens when 44,000 horsepower roars to life at the same time? High-octane action. The NHRA 4-Wide Nationals at ZMAX Dragway this weekend. The stars of the NHRA take to the original 4-lane drag strip for 3 days of 4-lane madness. Every ticket's a pit pass, and kids 12 and under get in free. The NHRA 4-Wide Nationals at ZMAX Dragway this weekend. Go to ZMAXDragway.com.
Everybody's got to do their part. If you're not going to get the vaccine, you're just not using your head. And the vaccine is going to save lives.
And stop being so selfish. It's just a vaccine.
We've all had them as children.
Vaccines are doing what they're supposed to do in curtailing the virus.
Please, please get vaccinated, not only for yourself, for your family, for your friends.
You have a spot?
Take your shot.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
In college hoops, North Carolina guard Caleb Love announced in a social media video on Sunday that he's returning to Chapel Hill for his junior season.
The opportunity to play at North Carolina is something I'll never take for granted. To play for the greatest fan base in the world, to play with the most amazing teammates I could ever imagine, and to play for coaches who support and challenge me in every way are all blessings that make me feel so fortunate. I'm back.
Love's return announced on the last day for players to declare themselves eligible for the NBA draft. It's a huge boost for the Tar Heels after their improbable run to the NCAA championship game. Duke freshman A.J. Griffin, meanwhile, is headed to the NBA. He became the 5th Blue Devil player in a week to declare early for the draft. The school announced its decision yesterday, the last day for players to declare themselves eligible. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at their trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com. Hey, this is Steve Leader Adams. You know, for many years, I've had arthritis in my right shoulder. I was at the point that surgery was the only option. Then I discovered pressure wave therapy, available at Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes. Pressure wave therapy is a machine that concentrates pulses of pressure waves into your joint at a rate of 2,000 pulses per minute. The treatment is non-invasive and there is no downtime. Pressure waves help your body restore blood flow to your damaged joints and can even remove bone spurs and works on almost any joint in the body, including knees, hips, feet, and elbows. I've gone to only being able to raise my arms from 90 degrees to a full 360-degree motion. You can live pain-free too, without going under a surgeon's knife. Give Dr. Sharon Wright a call at Wright Chiropractic in 7 Lakes. 910-673-2225. That's 910-673-2225.
Temple Theater presents My Way, a musical tribute to Frank Sinatra. On stage April 21st through May 8th. You'll delight at the range of Sinatra's music in this award-winning musical revue featuring 4 singers and a live band performing more than 50 songs recorded by Old Blue Eyes. Don't miss this classy tribute to Frank Sinatra's style and some of the 20th century's most beautiful songs. Tickets are $29 and available at templeshows.org. My Way, on stage April 21st through May 8th at the Temple Theater in historic downtown Sanford.
If you have a computer with 5 to 7 years of age on it, it's probably in need of a tune-up. Over the years, your computer picks up files and toolbars that you don't need, eventually it reduces your computer performance a great deal. Just bring your PC or Mac to WEEB Computer Repair here at the WEEB Studios on Midland Road. No problem is too big or too small for our Super Geek, and our prices are much lower than the box stores. WEEB Computer Repair, 690-9723, the home of the Super Geek.
Looking for ideas to update your home's tile work? Come to Meadow Creek Tile in Southern Pines. They are a locally family-owned business that's been here for over 35 years. Call and set up an appointment or come in and browse their showroom from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, and select from the finest ceramic, marble, glass, and stone tile materials in hundreds of styles to suit your taste and budget. They're located on Highway 15-501 South near Zaxby's. That's Meadow Creek Tile, 910-693-7711.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time with Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. I wonder how many of you are familiar with Westminster College in Utah. It was founded in 1875 as the Salt Lake Collegiate Institute. Boy, have times changed. I wonder what the founders would think today. Although the school severed ties with the Presbyterian Church in 1974, they've adopted a crest that says, "For Christ and Liberty." That's their motto. This year, the school is going to offer a new class called Film 3000 Porn. In the class, students will watch pornographic films together. Among other things, the course description says porn is an art form that requires serious contemplation. Art form? Where are they getting the people that are in charge of these colleges? How have you got the nerves to tell parents, yes, you need to send your child to us? Don't you worry about their character. After all, our motto is for Christ and for liberty. As a matter of fact, since you and Grandma and the rest of the family showed up for the campus tour, why don't you swing by and sit in on one of the classes? It's an important art class being taught by some guy named Chester. He's on parole. We found him laying in the gutter, drinking out of a paper bag. And parents, while you're here, I know this sounds like a strange class to you, but I want you to know that normally we would not even have this class. But we've got to do something about all these kids showing up from Moore County who can't read or write or do math to standard. I hope you have a good day. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Temperatures for today will warm above normal for this time of the year. It's going to feel like summer. We're going to head into the mid to upper 80s, and some areas could be dealing with the warmest highs of the year so far. By tonight, we're down into the upper 50s and lower 60s with highs in the upper 70s and upper 80s tomorrow. By the afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms will move through with a cold front. Some of those storms could be strong to severe in the evening hours. A meteorologist, Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Is that the phone?
Telephone! Yeah, that was the phone. You guys sound like you're ready for a show. The phone rang?
You're not supposed to have your phone on. It's always ringing.
Today is National Telephone Day.
And I'm Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the telephone.
See, that's the problem. You're always on that stupid phone.
You're always on the phone.
Hey, happy National Telephone Day.
Call me, call me, call me.
Call me. Bye.
Showtime.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's up and running at talk973.com or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the video link's located. In the upper right-hand corner of every page is another link or icon. It says on the air, listen live. Click that once you're listening that quick to our live 24-hour-a-day audio stream. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. It's going to be nice today, but on the warm side, mostly sunny with a high of 87 tonight. Clear, 63 now. Tuesday will be partly cloudy through most of the day. Then it'll cloud up a little bit. We'll see a chance of isolated thunderstorms and showers, high of 86. Those showers push out early on Tuesday evening. We'll go partly cloudy after that with a low of 54. Then for Wednesday, back to a full complement of sunshine, 73 for a high. Clear Wednesday night, 47. Thursday, sunny, 72. Friday, partly cloudy, 74. Saturday, 74. And Sunday, 82. All under sunshine. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds to north of 1, gusting to 2. Pressure is 30-50. Solar radiation, 41 watts per square meter. 2.58. Humidity, 82%. It is sunny and 64 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it's 8:30 straight up, and John Zumwalt's in the studio with us this morning with another guest. Good morning, John.
Well, good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Before I introduce my guest, I want to give a huge and very sincere shout out to the kids who participated in the Science Olympiad on the Pinecrest team this weekend. There were 15 of them. They had a very, very long day, and this is the first time they've gone to state finals. They were top 10 in 4 categories. That's pretty amazing because this is a unbelievably difficult competition. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Miss Dallimore was there, at least was the sponsor for that particular part of it. So a gigantic shout out to her as well. And thank you to those children who do not get nearly enough credit for what they do. My guest today, I'm very glad to have her here. She is before I invited her on, I said to her on Facebook, I want you to know, and she already did know, that I'm supporting her opponents, but I promised her we'd be very fair, and we will be. And this will be an interview, folks. It will not be we're not going to go back and forth, and I'm not going to challenge her on her answers. She is welcome to say anything she wants. And I would like to say good morning, Raleigh Sampson.
Morning, John.
Raleigh, before we get started, I'd like to let's give you 4 completely uninterrupted minutes so that you can say anything you want to say.
Okay.
And about your campaign or about how mean I am or anything you want to say. You're welcome to say it. And I'm going to start the time as soon as you start talking.
Okay. Well, one, I don't think you're mean. I've known you a long time. Just because we don't always agree doesn't mean that we have some kind of deep-seated hatred for each other. Like you said, my name is Raleigh Sampson. I actually currently work for Moore County Schools as military liaison. But I want to be really clear today that I'm not coming today to represent Moore County Schools. None of my opinions necessarily reflect how they see things. I'm actually coming as a candidate for the Board of Education for the at-large position. As far as my background, a lot of people have a lot of questions. I'm a veteran. I'm a military spouse. I'm an Army brat. My dad, served in Vietnam and then did another 20 years. I've lived all over the world. Like most of our kids, I went to, I think it was 8 schools before I graduated high school on 3 different continents. So I'm very familiar with military life. But I have a long history of service in this community, as well as service within our school districts. I've done everything from being a classroom aide to being a PTA president. I've taught in Moore County schools. I've taught in a private Lutheran school. I've run homeschool co-ops for science when I homeschooled my kids. So I have a pretty wide breadth when it comes to education and how I see education. I'm currently a licensed clinical mental health counselor, a nationally certified counselor and a school counselor. So behavioral health is really sort of my wheelhouse when it comes to how we support kids in school. As far as the issues I'm running on, I have a couple, and I think some of these actually probably would align with, with my, I guess you would call them opponents. I do want improved academic outcomes. There was a time in Moore County where we had much higher scores, especially reading scores and math scores in 3rd grade. But we also had teaching assistants back then, and we had smaller class sizes. I would really like to see us go back to the basics and return those supports to those schools so we could see those foundational skills of reading and math really be strong by 3rd grade. I'm all about investing in classrooms. Like I said, I want teaching assistants returned. It'd be great to have our class sizes reduced again from grades 3 through 12. I remember when my child went from 2nd to 3rd grade, that was the year that they took the caps off of 3rd grade. So, classes, could be 18 and now they're 25 or 30. We need to not do that. I'd also like to see our textbook funding return so that we don't have to purchase just so we don't have to just electronic textbooks. That's the bulk of our funding is required to purchase electronic books. Let's get some hard books in there. I believe in parent rights. I've always been an advocate for it. Parents, school choice. My kids have, depending on which child you talk to, they all have different educational paths. They've been in public school, private school, homeschooled, and even a charter school. So I don't have any problems with school choice. I just don't think we have to defund one in order to fund the other. And I believe we need to recruit and retain highly qualified teachers. Right now, one of the things I've noticed nobody's talking about is the fact that we have a huge deficit in teachers in our school district. We have over 125, I think, vacancies as of this morning. Over half of those are certified staff. So we have classes, core subjects, that don't have a certified, trained, licensed teacher in them. Most of them are being either taught or they're doubling up with teachers or they got substitutes. That's not how we continue to maintain good academic standards. And the last thing is Moore County Schools is a growing military school district. And I think people don't realize how much we've grown in the last decade. We are currently the 5th largest military school district in the state of North Carolina, not only by percent, but by population. Almost 30% of our students are from a military-connected family. And military student support plays a big role in how we support not just military students, but all our kids, including our transitioning students, and some of the funding and the things that we've brought from like the Department of the Army and DODEA have impacted that. So I'm really adamant about maintaining that military support in our school district.
All right, Raleigh. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Let's get on with the interview.
Yeah, let's bring it on.
We sound like you're eager. I'm glad.
Well, John, why not? Everybody thinks it's going to get ugly.
No. Would never do that. Listen, I'm not a fan of the pilot at all, but they had a pretty nice article about you yesterday. I think did you see it?
Which one?
The only one they had, I think.
With the forum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Well, we all make a big deal about how this is a nonpartisan race,
yes.
But yet they mentioned that the other your opponents were endorsed by the Republicans, but they failed to mention that you're endorsed by Democrats.
Well, actually, no. They posted something on their Twitter feed. That's not a formal endorsement. They were really clear to me that since I'm not a registered Democrat, they can't endorse me.
Okay. Well, again, I would like to hand you this paper, and you can see that
it's their Twitter feed.
Okay. So you reject that endorsement?
Yeah, people can vote who they want for, but nobody from the Democratic Party has reached out, called me, talked to me, and said that they were endorsing me.
Fair enough.
So I haven't accepted endorsement.
Okay, so you've not accepted that Democrat endorsement?
No, because nobody's contacted me and said they were endorsing me.
Okay. Now, one of the quotes they had you in there is saying, and I want to make sure this is correct because I don't give the pilot any credit for getting anything right. Quote, this is from you.
Okay.
I've experienced every budget cut as a parent with a child in the school. I'm tired of seeing that happen.
Yeah.
So that's correct.
Yes, from the time, I can tell you every budget cut that we've had from the time my child stepped into kindergarten and she's now graduating from college. So I think that's a pretty significant amount of time.
What year was that?
That would have started in 2006.
Well, Raleigh, would it surprise you to know, and I would like to encourage the listeners and anyone who wants to please check this out. Check it out by going and checking out with our commissioners, that there has not been a single budget cut, except in 2008 and 2009 during the housing bust. There's not been not one single budget cut. And I don't want to argue with you about it because I know you're adamant, but I would like to encourage folks to go back and look.
Well, I think it's about semantics. Okay, so when you change legislation that no longer allows us to have funding for teaching assistants, what does that do? That puts that burden on our county commissioners to have to fund it. And that's what we've seen from our legislation. It's a lot of unfunded mandates. And so when you have those unfunded mandates, you have to figure out a way to do it because you're required by law. So guess what? Things start getting cut. So we cut out teaching assistants. And I know because in 3rd grade, they up classroom sizes, the North Carolina General Assembly. They removed that restriction from 3rd grade. We lost teaching assistants in 3rd grade. School bus funding changed in 3rd grade, which is why we lost buses in Moore County, because now we have to fill buses to capacity. And those changes made us as a parent pull our kids out of Moore County, or our oldest child out of Moore County schools, and put him in Sand Hills Classical Christian.
Okay. Well, so budget cuts is a matter of semantics.
Well,
may I ask you another question about the budget? And I know that you and some others have been very adamant that the county and the state does not give us enough money. Do you know what percentage? Of course, I do. Do you know what percentage of the budget is provided by the state, of the state and the county, goes to our education? And I'll give you time to look for that. That's okay.
Yeah, you can go with that, but you can also look at, and then Nick Pacerno used to be really big about this, about the fact that being on the tier system, Moore County gets less per pupil funding. And so that's what I'm looking at. When you talk about state funding, when we are 107th out of 115 for per pupil funding in the state of North Carolina, I have issue with that. You know, you talk about equality. There's no equality in that.
Well, let me continue with the question, and I'll give you time to respond. The 58% of the state budget, 58%, and I would just like to mention something that you and I will agree on.
Okay.
The people who pay this money are not wealthy people, all of them. A lot of them struggle for every nickel, and they expect their money to be spent wisely. I think we'll agree on that.
Yes.
58% of the state budget goes towards education. The county budget is 50%, and if you add in property taxes, well, about 68% of property taxes goes to education. So here's the question, Raleigh, a serious question.
Yeah.
When is enough enough? Because we can't keep giving more money and throwing money at the problem. Now, maybe we can. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but when does it become a matter of using the money wisely, and we quit asking more money, or maybe you do think that we just should throw more money at the problem. I want you to answer any way you'd like.
Okay. Well, you know, when I look at the per pupil funding, and you know, David Hensley's talked about having a formula for this, and I don't think he's totally off base about some of the way we look at budgeting. And the county commissioners, compared to other districts, we put way more into public education than our surrounding counties. We're 35 out of 115. Now, we used to be 25. The challenge is, I think that, you know, everybody knows the cost of things is going up, right? There's a cost of living. Our teachers don't get raises that match inflation. So they're expected to continue to live off the same paycheck they got 10 years ago, where everything around them is costing more. So yeah, I mean, sometimes that means we have to come up with more money. What's the right answer? I don't necessarily have the right answer, but I'm definitely willing to work with people to come up to it. You have to ask yourself this. I think that our kids are the most valuable possession we have. And I'm willing to invest everything I have in my kids, and I think that's how other people feel. So, you know, there was a time when the state covered the cost of the majority of our teachers were paid through for state funds. Our county commissioners, we now pay for that locally. So I don't know if we need to rethink as a state how we look at education. And if you want to talk about equal, make sure that we're funding all of our students equally. Or if we make counties like Moore County that we, as a state, see as being wealthy, carry a bigger chunk of the pie. And that's what we're doing here in Moore County.
Okay. So I'm not real sure, honestly, what the answer was.
I don't know what the answer is either.
Okay. Well, we agree on that. Now, we talk about paying more. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the superintendent's salary is? Of course, I do know, but do you know?
Yeah, it's over 6 figures, yes.
Do you know about what it is?
Well, I know what Dr. Gremency was getting, but you know, you have a new superintendent, new contract.
Well, the superintendent, and I want folks to know, I'm sure Raleigh knows, is $188,000 a year plus benefits, and it doesn't sound to me like we're exactly chancing on getting the best. And I honestly think, Raleigh, that we would not mind paying that if it reflected in our school scores. Do you know? So we talk about the budget a lot.
Yep.
Do you know what last year's budget was and what this year's request is?
Yeah, I watched the budget briefing. I got it all here because I can't remember.
No, I can't either. So please feel free to take your time there and look.
Yeah, we'll look through here.
Okay. Or would you rather me just tell you?
Go ahead and tell me, because,
Last year it was $128 million.
Yes.
And this year the request is $157 million. And I might add that what's bad about that is that the schools always run a surplus, a huge surplus. And then if you get this year's budget, I think folks should know that the schools will get 75 cents of every single dollar of property tax. And that doesn't even include the $121 million principal and the $36 million interest on our schools. Now, again, I would like to ask you, when is enough enough? And it's a sincere question, Raleigh. And when do we finally start saying to the people who, and by the way, we're talking today with Raleigh Sampson, a candidate for Moore County Schools. And Raleigh, when do you have a moment in your mind when enough is enough, and when we start saying, look, start managing this money more wisely?
Well, I would say this. That budget request was passed by our Board of Education unanimously. So if anybody has scrutinized that budget and how Andrew Cox has presented it, is David Hensley. And he voted in favor of that budget. And so did Levy. And you want to talk about two people who look at that with very deep eyes, it's them. And so the fact that that budget has passed, not just, the incumbents, but the other three board members, and they had a unanimous vote, that tells me that they believe that we need that money and that we've made the appropriate cuts and adjustments to our budget, because there's no way I think they would support it otherwise. I will be happy when the state pays the same per pupil rate for every child in the state. We should all be able to get the same money from the state for education, including construction, because that falls on the county too.
Well, I've been pretty tough on Jamie Bowles and Tom McInnes, but I'm thinking 58% of the budget, that's quite a bit. Let me ask you this. The pilot got something else wrong. They said that there's been contention about grades in this school district for about 4 years. That's wrong. That's not correct. We never had anybody talking about this until Maureen Kruger dug through the DPI, Department of Public Instruction website, and found these scores, and they're almost impossible to find. And so, Raleigh, I'm going to have a question at the end of this.
Okay.
But if you look at the military children, which by the way, I kind of reject your statement that if you haven't walked a mile in your shoes, and that who did you say was the only one on the board that could?
Here's what I would say. So I did not serve during the same time my husband did, as far as past 9/11. His experiences as a veteran, his experience in combat, what the last 20 years have looked like, is very different than the military I served in. And so, although we have shared experiences, there's no way I can compare what he's done as a service member to what I did as a service member with Iraq and Afghanistan. And I stand by that. At the same time, I grew up my whole life connected to the military. And I will tell you, as a military family member, what my kids have endured is very different than what was happening before 9/11. So unless you've raised children and been in the military post 9/11, you truly do not understand what military families are going through. It doesn't mean that you don't have empathy. It doesn't mean that you don't care. And it doesn't mean that our military service isn't similar. It means that they have a different experience, and we need to honor that. And I said, Stacy Caldwell, her husband, she's done multiple deployments with him since post 9/11. But nobody else on that board of education has experienced that with us and walked that journey.
Okay, well, here's my question for you then, based upon what you just said. And by the way, I've gone since Vietnam, and I was in Iraq and on, and as a Special Forces guy, and I'm not really seeing the harm that you might be seeing. But let me ask you my question.
Okay.
Moore County, since I've lived here, and I've lived here since '97, I've never seen a county that was more generous and more giving and more loving and more inclusive of their veterans than Moore County. And are you trying to create some kind of a division between those who've served and who have not? Because frankly, Ronnie, I'm just not seeing it.
So here's what I would tell you. Maybe you don't see it in the county, but it existed in the school district.
There are people who do not like the military. Is that what you're saying?
When we moved back in 2013, This school district did not honor the Interstate Compact, which is a law in all 50 states.
Can you explain what that means when you say they didn't honor it, please?
So this is important for military families. Interstate Compact for educational opportunity for military children. There are laws that are part of not only our general statutes, but every state in the union. And there are provisions in there to ensure that military students, as they transition in, don't lose ground academically, that they're placed appropriate in courses, that they have access to extracurricular activities, and that they can transition quickly and smoothly into the school district.
And how were they violating that?
So one is classes. So if a student came in, they weren't using the waiver to make sure. So let me give you an example. You have a high school student coming in who's a junior or a senior, and they've taken AP classes. They've taken, maybe they took a marine biology class somewhere, and they took chemistry and physics. We have the ability to waive that freshman earth and environmental credit to keep them on the same academic path. More county schools wouldn't do it. So what we were doing, we were taking students who should have been in higher learning and putting them in lower level classes. How does that look to a college? For our child, they were denied the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities because all the signups happened the year before.
So did you fix that?
That's what we've spent that's what all the military support has done. And that's part of my job is when we have a violation, I step in and I help those school counselors make sure we're in compliance with the law in the state of North Carolina. It's why I serve on the NC-MAT committee with Representative Cleveland. And I've been part of legislation that actually has changed a lot of the ways we treat military families as they transfer into North Carolina.
Okay, well then, Raleigh, let's talk about military children. And what I'm about to quote is limited to the military children in our community. I'll quote several statistics, and then I'll ask you to respond, because I think we agree that the primary job of schools is to prepare children for the future, whether it be the military or to go on to whatever career that might be. In Southern Middle, military children, 8th grade math, 70% are not proficient. Cranes Creek, 7th grade math, 61.3% of military children are not proficient. Carthage Elementary, reading, grade 4 through 8, 50% are not proficient. Sandhills Farm Life, reading grade 4, 50% are not proficient. And not proficient means demonstrates an inconsistent understanding of grade level content standards and will need support. So here's my question.
Okay.
And I think it's one that might help you. What have you done in your job or in your time in the school system to try to get these things above 70% not proficient? That means only 30% are proficient. So what have you done?
So let's talk about a couple things. You got to remember that a lot of our military children are coming in and out of our school district. So we get children where they are. So one of the things that I spend a lot of time doing is when we have families that feel like their children aren't getting what they need in the classroom, they'll reach out to me and I'll meet with administration. So I sit in on IEP meetings. I've actually challenged our school district several times on at IEP meetings where I feel like we're failing the needs of students. One of the things that we've been working on is getting what we call a EC coordinator at the district level, because we get impact aid money. And let's be clear, we all know that money, the people filling out the forms are military families. One of the requests we've made is to have an EC coordinator at the district level, so that when we have transitioning families, because most of our military families will contact me months before they show up, that they have an opportunity to send their IEP so we get all their paperwork correct. And that doesn't delay their services when they get here. I've had families who had their services delayed by a year. It's unacceptable. And so that would allow us to sort of preempt that. So when they walk onto our campuses, they have the ability to start early. One of the other things that we did is this last year we worked on legislation that allows military families to start the enrollment process with PCS orders. So that means that we can do math placements tests before they get here. There's a lot that we can do. It also means that they can finish the enrollment process while they're en route. They don't have to wait till they show up. During COVID, it allowed me to actually enroll military families before they arrived in the state of North Carolina, and they were able to start our virtual program, which meant that they didn't have a gap in education. So the kid didn't have to do 2 months somewhere else and then show up here and change curriculum. So there's a lot of work being done to help bridge those gaps. But if you look at where they are when they're in high school, our military students as a school district outperform their civilian peers in every category.
Well, Okay, I'll give you that. Now, all the things you named, I'm still not clear. Could you be more specific on what you have done to raise these grades? Because your first statement was we have to accept them the way they are when they arrive, and I hate that. Is that really what you do? You just
it's no different. When we moved to Kansas, Kansas has a different math sequencing we did. Our students were a grade ahead in math, and yet had to repeat the entire grade. So coming from North Carolina, they were ahead. So if we get students who come from school districts where their math, we see it a lot in math. Math sequencing is very different. We see it in our 8th and 9th graders all the time because we do a block system here in North Carolina, and most do Algebra 1, 2. They do algebra, trig, geometry, old school like we had. That's not what we do in North Carolina. So we do see those gaps.
I'm trying to keep this a little shorter. We're down to about 3 minutes, Raleigh. I want you to know that I wish that more folks that worked at the school district would speak out and start calling the schools out about these low grades. I have not heard anyone that works for the schools do that. And I also want to ask you, the fact that David Hensley and Bob both approved this budget, is that your criteria for approval, or did you look at this yourself? Your answer to me was...
No, I looked at it myself, and I sat through every work session for the budget. I went through it. I listened. I looked at everything that they got, as board members. That's public. And they gave their input on it. So I watched where cuts were made, and I support what they did. So,
and I really don't want to cut you off. You've answered that very well. Last question I think I have for you, is... During your speech to the school board, you said that the local Board of Education members and candidates treat staff and teachers like enemy combatants. Did you mean that?
Let's see. When a sitting board member stands in central office and declares that he is at war with us, I sort of feel like an enemy combatant.
Okay. Well, you answered that. You feel like they treat teachers and staff like enemy combatants.
Well, you use the term war. When you use the term war, that's exactly what you're telling me.
I really think you should name names. If you're
all right, Phillips Holmes sat in our building.
That's one. Can you name 2 or 3 more?
Well, let's see. Both Holmes and Levy attended the GOP meeting or social at somebody's house that was posted very publicly in which they declared war on leftist educators.
Okay.
So, you want to support or be places, I hear all the time, it's guilt by association.
Raleigh, we've got 1 minute. I want to give you all the time you need, but I want to say, as a veteran of many, many wars and combat missions, you enemy combatants, you probably need to think more about that term before you start using the word enemy combatants. But anyway, please use the rest of the time we have to say anything you'd like to say.
Well, listen, JD, I want to thank you because I know a lot of people, thought for sure, this was going to be ugly. I appreciate your questions. I know not all my answers are going to please your listeners. Hopefully this will be one of your better rater shows because, either the haters or supporters are listening today. So I just appreciate your time and your willingness to meet with me and have an engaging conversation.
Well, Raleigh, it's glad to see someone with courage who knew that she was walking into not the most friendly territory. Actually, come on. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll come back again, and I'd like you to encourage your colleagues to come on as well.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Raleigh, appreciate you coming in because it takes a lot to stick your neck out and try to make the world a little better. All right, and so it goes for this Monday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a titillating Tuesday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on WEEB. They're local. They're part of our local economy. And when you shop with them first and give them a crack at your spending dollars, your money will stay here, roll over here, and create more jobs here. When you head on to the Mega Mart, well, your money ends up in Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and China. And don't forget also that millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the dog will all see you this afternoon at 2 at the Sunny Dog Park.